Okay, hi sisters. We're back for this short little video, I think. This is of course is not the transformation video. I said that in my notes, of course, under my last video. Anybody who went back in and happened to read them after the posting, I actually wrote it in there. And we're just gonna carve out a small little section and take a look at that before we then move into the transformation, of the mind and all of that and what it might look like according to some of the scriptures that we can pull out and kind of examine a bit more closely. Anyway, we were going to just take a look at a few passages and a little word here. I'll bring up my tabs. I think it's this one right here. And the first word we're going to take a look at is the word. Let's just find it here. Where is it? Is it all this string here? Sorry about that. It's right here. What's that one up for? Okay. So it's right here. It's Strong's Greek. Sorry about that. 4747. Now, we have looked at this in prior videos on, I think, both of the channels. And this is what it means. Strong's Greek, noun neuter, one of a row, hence a letter, watch this, of the alphabet. And by extension, the elements, and it's got in brackets, of knowledge. Watch what else it says. Definition, one of a row, a letter, brackets of the alphabet, the elements, bracket of knowledge. Usage, plural of the heavenly bodies. Look at that, heavenly bodies. And hence a letter of the alphabet, one of a row. So this goes back to the comment where I said the child is beginning to learn her alphabet and she is beginning with the letter A. Now, so this is the beginning understanding, right? So plural, the heavenly bodies. B, a rudiment, an element, a rudimentary principle, an elementary rule. Elementary rule, I'll get it. So define elementary. Basic, it's very basic. What's basic? Very basic. We know what basic is. Basic elements of a subject of the most basic kind. A beginning understanding. Having the beginning understanding of knowledge like a child would begin to learn the alphabet, but also the heavenly bodies. A newborn child is learning their alphabet, beginning with the letter A. Why is that important, this word? Let's keep examining what it means properly. Fundamentals, like with the basic components of a philosophy and structure, etc. Figuratively, first principles, like the basic fundamentals of Christianity, which is the false foundation that we are currently structured upon, as well as all these male God-oriented religions. Pretty much lately, when you go on YouTube and they speak of gods, unless it's in a derogatory sense, it'll always be of a male God that made everything. That's it. That's pretty much the encapsulating of what God looks like, a man. That's basically it. So 4747 refers to the rudiments with which mankind was indoctrinated. I'm going to say at the time of Christ and before that, when we go back into Daniel 2, where the first kings devised this, hey, if we make a male idol and keep building on it, we can be the gods of this world and we can write the laws and we can have all the goods we want and all the women we want if we do this right. So the elements of religious training or the ceremonial precepts common alike to the worship of Jews and of the Gentiles. Now, the RSV, however, renders stoichia as elemental spirits, i.e., spiritual powers or cosmic spirits. This views 4747 elements as ancient astral beings associated with the very beginning makeup of the earth. All right, let's define astral beings here because I forgot to do this. Okay. Oh, we'll get it. There we go. Astral being, of connected with or resembling the stars, relating to a supposed non-physical realm of existence to which various psychic and paranormal phenomena are ascribed, and in which the physical human body is said to have a counterpart. So let's continue to go down here and see what else it says. An astral being in a term that can have different meanings depending on the context. In some spiritual or esoteric beliefs, an astral being is a replica of the human body that exists in a higher plane of existence. An astral being can also refer to a star-like or celestial entity. In biology, an astral being can mean a cell or structure that has a star-shaped appearance, right? So that's all to do with stoicheia, right? Why is this particular understanding here, right, of the alphabet, the beginning understanding of knowledge is kind of what you get, the elements of knowledge. One of a row, hence a letter of the alphabet, or plural, the heavenly bodies, right? Why is that important? Well, you know what? I asked this silly little question. I asked it quite a while ago, and I don't remember if I actually made a video on it or not. I can't remember. It seems like I did actually put it in a video. And this was the silly little question that I asked. And you might begin to understand why this became very important. Let me see, where is it? It's here somewhere. Just gotta locate it. Okay, right here. This is the question. And if you don't punch it in just right, this question, if you don't ask it just right, it won't give you this answer. Okay, let me make sure I have it here. Well, it was here. Just a second. Okay, I'll have to go to this. Let's see if this comes up now. I don't know why it took it away. Okay. So is the moon below the earth? This is the response that I got to this particular question. This is understanding the beginning understanding of a child. All right. So regarding the Earth's atmosphere, the exosphere marks the uppermost layer, serving as a transitional zone between the lower atmospheric layers in the interplanetary space. Is that what I want? Okay, so at its theoretical upper boundary, the exosphere lies approximately 190,000 kilometers, which is 120,000 miles, above our planet, roughly half the distance to the moon. Consequently, regardless of the moon's position in its orbit, it always lies outside and above our planet's exosphere. Is that important to know? I think it is because of this verse that we pick up in Revelation 12:1. A great sign appeared in heaven, a woman clothed with the sun, with the moon under her feet. I'm going to tell you what this is earth. The woman is the earth, and the moon is under her feet. She has a crown of 12 stars, and the sun is at her back. What's preventing us or stopping us, from all appearance, from giving birth to a child? It's that we've been turned at the wrong degree. We get the turning of degrees in the Psalms from Psalm 120 to Psalm 134. Those are all about the Psalms of degrees. And it's the turning of earth, right? We think the moon has to move, right? Or I did. I used to think the moon had to move. It's not. And we know why. Why do we know that? Because of this verse. This is how we know that it's the earth that has to move. We find it in, we all know this who's been on this channel. Oh, they put so many blanks in between. Now, do I have it up? Oh my gosh. No, of course not. It can't be there. No, no. Sorry about that. It should be right there. It's not. Okay, so we're going to do it here. It is in Isaiah 29, isn't it? How did they prevent the birth of us? How did they bring on our death? Well, we're told it in Isaiah 29. What does she say? Sorry. It says, surely you're turning of things upside down. See? That's the Psalm of Degree. They turned the earth upside down. Shall be steamed as a potter's clay. For shall the work say of her that made it, he didn't make her. She made me not. Yep, that's what they do. Or shall the thing framed say of her that framed it, she had no understanding. Do we have understanding now? Are we beginning to get it? In order for that child to be birthed out, the earth has to turn so that the moon is actually at her feet. Now, we also get this understanding with the potter, right? With that word potter. Sorry, I'm not doing a very good job of this. But it's number 70, Strong's Hebrew number 70, a wheel of disc. Now, I've come to understand wheel and disc means planets, right? So this all has to do with the birthing process of the spirits out of the earth, right? Out from the earth. As it is now, we die. We're told we die, and we are actually trapped in the womb of Sheol when we do that. So Hebrews 70 was birth stool and wheel, the potter's wheel in your understanding. Eben, a pair of stones, a potter's wheel, or a midwife stool, consisting alike of two horizontal discs with a support between. And we get this because this is all pulling this whole idea of what needs to come into play in order for the birthing of the firstborn to come about. And this is in Hosea 13:13. Now, I remember when we used to go to church, to the last church that we went to, I remember a young man walking up and down between the aisles, like, because they're just so used to having this cemented position of authority and power and freedom that we women really don't have to kind of move around in the church atmosphere. And he would walk kind of up and down the aisles, or he did it on several occasions, and he said, who will stand in the gap? Who will stand in the gap? Who will make up the gap? And it was almost like people were like, well, don't ask me, I don't know what you're talking about, don't ask me. And this is the verse that kind of comes to my mind whenever I think of that, and that was in Hosea 13:13. So, pains as of a woman in childbirth comes to, it says to him. Well, does he have pains of a childbirth on him? No, she does. Will come to her, but she is a child without wisdom. And when the time arrives, she doesn't have the sense to come out of the womb. Why? Because we're not in right position. Everything has been turned upside down. And those Psalms of Degree is speaking about how this wrong understanding of everything, right? And you denied the Creator in the days of your youth came about. And it stops the birth of Ephraim, the firstborn, is what it does. Now, you can look at it two ways. He's there trying to block the exit, perhaps, which is the wall built up around us. But yet there's this verse. She doesn't have the sense enough to come out of the womb when the time comes for her to be born. And some of them it's rendered slightly different. in other renderings here. The pangs of childbirth come for her, but she is an unwise daughter because she is the firstborn of the womb. For at the right time she does not present herself at the opening of the womb. Where's the other one? At the place of life, one of them has it translated. Does not come forth when the opening into life opens up, is what it says. So let's go in here. Sorry, I was well prepared this morning, but I just couldn't make it this morning, this video. So I'm sorry. So what does it say? Right here, open it. No, that's not the opening of life. One of them does translate it that way, when the opening of life presents itself. Well, that's the parting of the Red Sea, right? That's the deliverance of children. Pains as of woman in childbirth come to her, but she is a child without wisdom. When the time arrives, she doesn't have the sense to come out of the womb. So this all has to do with actually getting your rudimentary principles in order, in the correct alignment, in the correct position. Like your alphabet has to be in position. So don't the planets have to be in position. And so we get this, apparently this A over the United States. And so that's the first letter of the alphabet, isn't it, as we know it? And what's causing that A to appear if it is not the alignment of planets, right? To be able to do that. Now, they claim Earth is actually turning, and the North Pole is actually changing where it is, because the planet is actually turning in degrees. And what does a child have to do? A child has to turn, right, in the womb before it is born. And so in order to do that, the planets have to be in the right position for that to happen, which has to do actually with this child learning her alphabet. Believe it or not. Yeah, is what I'm coming up with. So when we go to right here, we get this understanding. So I'm sorry I'm not pulling my thoughts together well. I apologize. What does it say? She will surely violently turn and toss thee like a ball into a large country. There shalt thou die, and there the chariots of thy glory shall be the shame of thy Lord's house. So we get her being tossed like a ball into a large country. She's in a solar system, an orbit that is not natural to her, right? Which we spoke on in the last video. Sorry about that. But we also get in Psalm 68:24. Do I have that one pulled up? I don't think I have Psalm 68:24 pulled up. But do you understand? Yeah, there it is. What does it say? These are planets in procession, just like it's people in procession. It says, your procession, God, has come into view. The procession of my God, and not King, Lord, into the sanctuary. So they were bearing witness to the Lord coming and going in and out of her sanctuary. Why is that important? Because we get it in Psalm 18, which is going to lead us up to the transmigration of the soul, believe it or not. So let's see. Because I forgot to pull this one up. What does it say? Here in Psalm 18. This is a double chapter as well. What does it say? See, she bowed the heavens also. To bow the heavens means to have your planets, your understanding of how the planets work, putting your alphabet in order, and it's making an A in some places. She bowed the heavens also and came down. Darkness was under her feet. So, what do we think of when we think of darkness under her feet? The moon is under her feet. This is a picture of Virgo. And she is bowing the heavens. That's what she's doing. And she's taking her birthright back. And she rode upon a cherub, and did fly, yea, she did fly upon the wings of the wind. There we go with that, fly upon the wings of the wind. She made darkness her secret place, her pavilion. Round about her were dark waters and thick clouds of the sky. At the brightness that was before her, her thick clouds passed, hailstones and coals of fire. The Lord also thundered in the heavens, and the highest gave her voice. Hailstones and coals of fire. Yea, she sent out her arrows and scattered them. What's the arrows? Those are off of her bow, off of her covenant. Who are the arrows identified that sits in her quiver? She has hid me, right? In her quiver, like an arrow, like a sharp word. A sword is also in there. We looked at that before. Yea, she sent out her arrows and scattered them, and she shot out lightnings and discomfited them. Who are identified as the Ephraim? Who are identified as the arrows? Ephraim. Ephraim, the Ephraimites are defined and pictured as the arrows in the quiver, which is the firstborn daughters. That's right. So then the channels of water were seen, and the foundations of the world were discovered at thy rebuke, O Lord, at the blast of the breath of thy nostrils. Who gives the rebuke to man when she sets the case in order? Psalm 50, we saw her doing that. And though they got it he, they stuck the he pronoun in there. That's what these boys do, right? But the procession here is of the planets, are of also a picture of these daughters. So they come to the heavenly battle, is kind of your understanding. There's an army being organized here for the heavenly battle. And there seems to be some understanding that these daughters each hold power on a planet, power over a planet. And once we are able to get our understanding in order, like an alphabet, we are able to get the solar system. Where's the word? We are able to get the heavenly bodies in line and organized in their proper, rotations where they're supposed to be. And when we're able to do that, we open up the pathway. We open up a highway, a high place for our God. So where do we find that? I don't know that I pulled that one up. Looking good. It's there somewhere, but it just, the way this works, it causes you to have so many tabs up. Because first you ask a question, and in front of that, then it'll put up the information. So you're actually using up much more memory when you do that. So what does she say in Isaiah 40? Comfort ye, my people, saith your God. Speak ye comfortably to her, to Zion, to the new branch, and cry unto her that her warfare is accomplished, that her iniquity is pardoned, because she has received of the Lord's hand double for all of her sins. The voice of her that crieth in the wilderness, prepare ye the way of the Lord, make straight in the desert a highway for our God. So this takes us to the high place. She's making a highway, a way for her to come in, right? And we discussed on the last video what takes place when that does happen. But in order to do that, you've got to get everything in alignment in order to know your alphabet, beginning with the letter A, which also is remembering your creator in the days of your youth. Yeah, which is mother, your Aleph. It's not a bull, Aleph, bull, father. No, the water was identified with the mother. She's also identified as the high God, the high and almighty God that the world denied. So ears as the scale, weighing up what is said. That's Strong's Hebrew 239, right? And we said the spirit was all, to do, it's all one and the same, and it is. And you will get it with the word Strong's Greek 2588. Just quick add in here. Noun feminine is heart and mind, character, inner self, will, intention, center, spirit, right? heart, mind, soul, spirit. They're all one in this word. And it's a feminine noun, by the way. 2588. So it's about the newborn child beginning to take her first steps in understanding her alphabet, the beginning, and how to put the planets in alignment in order to birth out the firstborn child, which is a daughter, not a son. So Ephraim will not be standing in the way. She will actually be birthed out because she's learning her alphabet. She's coming of age in a sense to be able to put some wisdom into the context of things. And this was part of the purpose. Again, elements of knowledge. So when we scroll down here, let me see here. The letters of the alphabet. The elements from which all things have come. The Aleph, She. The material causes of the universe. The heavenly bodies. The elements, the rudiments, primary and fundamental principles of any art, science, or discipline, your mathematics as well. Something orderly and in arrangement. That takes us to the mighty army in Joel 2. They all walk in their way, and the implication is in their order, right? And none will strike through another. They're organizing for a battle in proper arrangement for the birthing of a child. By implication, a serial, basal, fundamental, initial, constituent, literally, proposition, figurative, element, principle, and rudiment. So when we go in and hit on this derivative, it pulls up, I walk in, I walk by, I walk in. A row, line, in strict accordance to a particular pace, stride, walk in cadence, keep in step. This is the same army in Joel 2. They can stick ravishing of women in there all they want. This is not a male army. This is a female army identified. We've identified her. They walk orderly and none will strike through the other because they're all organized. This is your procession that enters in to the Holy of Holies as well, into the Ancient of Days for the case. And they're organized and they're walking in procession. We are walking in procession, the planets are, and we are told that they are bearing witness to the coming and goings of what is going on during this event. And it's amazing because Psalm 120 to Psalm 134 is called the Psalm of Degrees. We see what they did. They caused her unable to birth her children out. The planets have a lot to apparently are doing with that. They're preventing the birthing of the children out of the womb of Sheol into the heavens out there. And it's all there. I had so much more this morning. I'm sorry. I'm kind of laggy this evening. I apologize. So what else do I have? Yeah, Isaiah 22. Yeah, so we covered everything, right? So then we're going to go into in the next video, which will probably take me a little bit of time to get it together properly. This isn't very well, or it's something for y'all to kind of put together in your own mind if you're interested in doing. So from a derivative of stako, to range in a regular line, to march in military rank, keep step. Figuratively, to conform to virtue and piety, to walk orderly. So these women are walking orderly. That's the branch. It's also in the sense of a military. And you see that in Joel 2. You do. I don't know how else to explain it. Like I said, I'm not doing a very good job of this, but we see all the tie-ins to Revelation 12. And it has to do with her birthing out her firstborn, which will be caught up to the true throne of God. Now, what does it say? It says, who shall ascend into my holy hill? She with clean hands and a pure heart. We know it's she and not he as they have there, that pronoun, because we know it's the Shulamite with the clean hands and a pure heart. She's the only one we could find with clean hands and pure heart. The pure one of her mother, she is the only pure one of her mother. That's Strong's Hebrews 6:9 in reference to the daughter of Israel. In this case, it's a plural, yes, although it's a singular. These women are walking in rank and order as they're supposed to. That means in virtue and piety, but also in a military conduct. And what else was I going to say? We also see her with the clean hands that drip with myrrh. So it's the only one that can ascend into Mother's holy hill is the one that is going to order the conversation aright. She's going to begin learning the alphabet, which means she's going to be able to put the heavenly bodies in their proper planetary alignments in order to birth out the first fruits of this piety and spirit that walks in order. So anyway, sorry, I can't find my words. There we go. Is Ephraim a stupid child? Does she not present herself at the opening of the womb when life has been opened up and presents itself to her? She's learning her alphabet. Yeah. She's learning her alphabet. She's learning how the heavenly bodies work, right? And we get the word for potter, right? On the potter's wheel, we get these discs. We also see that with the glory in Ezekiel. It'll speak of these wheels. Well, it's speaking of planets. Yeah, that's what it's speaking of. And so there's a correct pattern out there to the planets. And when it got all out of alignment, it stopped in more or less in your understanding, it stopped eternal life for many of us. It stopped us being able to go forth, out past this wall boundary that was set by our mother, according to Job. I can't remember the chapter now, Job 38. I set a boundary, and your proud waves will be stayed, you'll come no further. And it'll only be when you figure out that you will be able to birth your firstborn daughter out. That's what she's saying. Anyway, there we go. That's long enough. Sorry I blathered on. I wish it had been clear. Thanks for watching. I'm going to do some more studying on the transmigration of the soul. Hope I have a good day, April 8th, when I put the video up. Pray you're blessed with an abundance of truth. And I hope you all have a lovely evening. And thanks for watching.